Welcome back to another reaction to Medalist Season 2, Episode 4. We are at the end, more or less, of the a little tournament, you could say, competition. We just have to wait for Iori to go. So let's see.
14番唯一会のりさんルクス東山 FSC
Okay.
任せて
任せる。
はい
Last time we saw how points are generated, essentially. So this is going to be interesting. Is she going to make a perfect run without any mistakes? And that is how she's going to potentially win? Or are we going for some risky plays, but in turn make some mistakes?
いのりさんは試合のたびに成長を見せて自らの道を開いていった。何度も何度も何度も。でも今日は俺が導くんだ。
立ち向かうんだ私が用意した武器でノービス A の選手たちに
Sorry about that. Okay. Descendants. Dance.
最初のジャンプトリプルループ
So instead of going for a very difficult jump, we go for a simpler jump that we can do triple. Because already forgot, but we had the Salco or whatever, and then we had didn't we have one on top? I believe Loop was like third difficult.
段違いに上手くなっている。相当追い込んでやったんだ。やはりまとめる力で来たか。体力がある前半にコンビネーションジャンプを確実に決め、ミスを最小限に抑える作戦。すげえなこの子。どこのクラブの子だ。むちゃくちゃうめえ。
This is insane. I would never be able to do this. But yeah, very solid. I mean, I don't really have an idea about ice skating, naturally. I'm pretty sure Loop is not the most difficult one. That is the only thing. But nonetheless, no mistakes so far. We did have the information that some people try to risk all the biggest tricks or biggest combinations for the later half because of the 10% extra points. However, it is more safe to do it this way, which is interesting because, again, she doesn't really have the experience, she doesn't really have the trainings that other people do. So she should be at a disadvantage. But seemingly, she's doing very well. I feel like if she just does a solid performance without any mistakes, she's already better than most of them, at least for today. Maybe that is her strength, being less pressured under or less susceptible to pressure. I was just thinking about her mom. This is her mom, right? And her sister? Because I was like, is her mom even here? We didn't really get much information. Because this whole thing started because the mom didn't want to support her because her other daughter had some kind of injury that stopped them from being able to skate, if I remember correctly. This is probably one of the worst parts about this competition, because all the other skaters, especially the ones on the 5 or 4 top positions, they see this and they know how well she's doing, and they know how bad in comparison they were doing. And some people are going to take this very negative. Some people take it as a challenge to become a lot better. But it is very hard to be hit by that realization that there is still some talent out there that is very strong, apart from the one genius girl. Because they were all like, oh, she's not here, so we all have a chance. Yeah, maybe you do not. Why did you jinx that? Come on. Just let her make a solid performance, no mistakes. Again, I feel like that is already enough to more or less defeat everyone else. Which is interesting. So this is not normal. We do know that this Novice A bracket is very difficult. They have a high difficulty rating because you need to have like 4 different types of jumps in it. Meanwhile, the other ones don't require that. So you can be more in your element. Which I assume, again, is to filter out people that are worth maybe pouring more resources in to foster the next generation of skater. But if she does a clean run, which seems to be very uncommon, we saw that, and everyone is commenting on that. Again, that is already far better than anyone else in this competition, even if all the jumps and stuff would not add to as many points. It feels like a jinx. Feels like a red flag.
独コンビネーション不発今日俺はあなたを金メダリストにするそのためにこの構成にしたんだ
I see. You sly bastard. So they were commenting, oh, it's just a single jump. My assumption was, okay, maybe she decided to do a single jump because you can prepare a program, but on the day the conditions are always different, and the skater herself has to decide, okay, they should at least, hopefully, know the best what their condition is. And maybe they're like, oh, you know, not feeling it. I didn't get enough speed. In that split second, I'm only going a single jump. I feel like that is where most of the professionalism on the ring is coming from. Naturally, you try to make it as solid as possible, your program, but sometimes stuff happens and you have to do these the split second decisions. Now, it feels like she's going to do a triple. Probably triple psycho. I don't really remember what the other name was at the end, because this gives 10% more points. But also doing it at the end instead of like the first part of the second half feels very dangerous. So let's hope it works. But we had all these red flags. He's now planting a green flag, and green flags are most of the time very a lot stronger than the red flags. So I assume it is going to go at worst with this little mistake, not necessarily falling, but maybe not perfect stance at the end. But she's going to succeed.
その切り札を
このジャンプに全てをかける
約束を
約束を
この約束だけは
絶対に果たすために
コンビネーションジャンプは通常右足を使うジャンプしか構成できないだがあるジャンプを挟むこと
絶対に果たすために
Combination jump can only be made with a jump from the right foot?
コンビネーションジャンプは通常右足を使うジャンプしか構成
Take off from the right foot. I'm trying to understand. It feels like it has to do with the rotation. Or not rotation, but the way they skate, because she's skating against the clock direction, and if she were to do a double jump coming from the left foot, she would more naturally try to, or the skates would put her in a clockwise direction. So this way you would potentially go against the wall. It would maybe not look as clean. I don't know. You probably could. Whatever. I feel like that is a problem. But if you have like a half more rotation, you would then get against the clock again. Otherwise, I don't really know why that would not be possible. It can't really be because it's your stronger leg, because you could train the left leg and then it would be fine. So there has to be something apart from a body or physical, not physical, but a body restriction.
できないだがあるジャンプを挟むことで左足を使うサルコーの使用制限を
It also means that everyone that sees her taking off with the left leg is like, okay, this is a single jump. Was Salko? As I thought. What did she do? I don't know. She did a little extra jump. Is that allowed? Lots of green flags. What's the what's the fact? Double axel, Eula, triple psycho. Which one is it?
やられた。そこまで信じていたということか。
司君が夢中になった理由が少し分かったよ。美しさや芸術性だけじゃない。できたかできなかったかだけじゃない。フィギュアスケートは奇跡を見守るスポーツなんだ。
I mean, as I assumed, I am very surprised there's no mistake, no single mistake. I feel like we know you can like do quadruple jumps, but the other one had like 80 points with some mistakes. I feel like she's in the 90 points already, which I feel like this is going to be the talk of the town. Her being able to do a flawless run, which seems to be rare, and her also making a very risky triple jump at the end. Now, what exactly was going on there, I don't really know why you can't really do that if you start from the left leg. She did a little extra jump, so she's able to rotate herself again for the next jump. I don't really know what exactly went on there. Maybe they will explain. I don't know. It is also interesting that no one had an idea what happened. Double axel, Eula, triple psycho. Maybe it's all three. Now that I think about it. Maybe the first one is a double axel, then the Eula to bridge, and then a triple psycho. It could be that, could be it. What is a Eula? Eula skating. Eula jump is an edge jump in figure skating. The Eula jump was known, blah, blah, blah. Half loop jump. Oh, okay. So it is all three. Interesting. Didn't really register that. Okay, the triple psycho, double axel, Eula. No mistakes, which I feel like is the most impressive one. Successfully taking a risk and, high risk, high reward, 10% extra points. Pretty impressive as well. Doing it is not only a big jump, it is a combination jump they did at the end. A double, triple, which takes a lot of energy, as far as we have heard. What I wonder is, after the program is over, whenever they leave the ice, are they allowed to fall down? Does that not count anymore? I don't really know. I feel like some sports are like, hey, as long as you are on the stage, every mistake counts. And others are like, you know, your time is over. Whatever happens now doesn't matter. I do wonder that.
ここがキス&クライ。
Was it the kiss and cry? Who's kissing who? I mean, do the points really matter? You did your program, the best one that you were able to come up with, and you did it flawlessly. I mean, what else can you hope for?
じゃあひとみ先生どうぞ。
は？
Huh?
あんたが座らんでどうするのよ。
あの若い先生がコーチ？
あの先生があの子を指導してたのか。
I do like that everyone is taking notice. Not only the flawless performance, but also with the double triple jump. This is something the coach had a hand in. This is probably rarely done by the skater themselves. So they are also having a little bit of a gander at our coach. Now, sadly, it doesn't seem like he's going to go back into skating. Most likely because he can't, because he's too old. But still, a little bit recognition for our boy is very well deserved.
ああ、懐かしい。
懐かしい。いのりさんここ座るの初めてじゃ。
あ、いえ、ただ小さい頃ここに座る夢何度も見たんです。私にとってスケート選手ってここに座れる人だったから。だから朝起きるたびにいつもお願いしてました。こんな夢もう見せないで、悲しくなっちゃうからって。
Man. And the mom was not really supporting her. Come on, at least give her a chance. If it turns out bad, I mean, you live and learn, but at least she gave it a try. Or, you know, as you get older, you understand more, hey, just give it a try. Sure, if it turns out bad, maybe if it turns out terrible, you are going to have a bad time, but you tried. You are never going to have to look back at what if I did. So the mom was always on shaky ground. At least she's now very supportive.
じゃあ今日でお願いも終わりだね。これから何度も何度もここに座ってその悲しかった朝の数を塗り替えていこう。
はい。
唯一会のりさんの得点 81.20。
81 points? Really? Really? 81 only? I mean, we saw how the points are distributed. And I'm pretty sure there's something above a psycho. I don't really remember though. Still, he did all of those and only 81 points. We know that if you did a quadruple, you get like nearly double the points. I believe for the cycles, like 7 or so extra points. So if you replace the cycle with a quadruple, the triple one, and the exit, making it from a double to a triple is like 2 or 3 extra points. But if you do one of the other triple as quadruple, you would be okay. I can see. I feel like she should have more points than the other girl, at least. However, I don't really know how mistakes are being calculated. And it may be that the other girl didn't really get punished as much for her mistakes. Or she didn't really do big mistakes. It was like unsteady finishing of the figure. So maybe that didn't get punished as much. maybe that is the case.
現在の順位は第1位です。
I mean, deserved. I feel like even if she didn't get as many points, everyone would be talking about her. Just because she was able to finish, she was able to do these difficult jumps in the second half. We still have one more skater. I'm guessing they are not able to defeat 81 points. That feels like a very high score for Novice A.
5位に入れないのは分かっていたけど、
50 points, yeah. 50 points is a little bit too low. See? This I can definitely understand. You want to finish without falling. You just want to have a solid performance. And then you can try to increase the difficulty.
とも転ばないでいたかったな。ひなー。パパがさ、今日お外でご飯食べようって。ねえ聞いた？優勝した唯一かいのりちゃん。去年スケート始めたばっかなんだって。嘘。
Totally other things that she only skated or started last year.
優勝はともかく全日本に行けないなんて正直思ってなかった。
I mean, 67 points is already a lot closer. 70 points now. Oh, she got rank 9, I guess? Or is that the position she started in?
正直思ってなかった。天才と呼ばれなくても学校の子が誰も
I guess it's a position they have. She's still in. Everyone is happy. She's crying from happiness, I assume.
なくても学校の子が誰も知らないとこでこうして死ぬ気で頑張っているって誰かに知っているって誰かに知ってもらえたら。
Oh. This is probably very difficult to go through. You know, you just scrape by, you probably were like 1 or 2 points off. Potentially being number 5, going to All Japan. Or the next step. And this is where you need a lot of support in this situation. Some people, they are very steadfast. They are, I fucked up, I'm going to do better. They see that as a very strong growing opportunity. But a lot of people are going to be down on themselves because this is where, if I didn't do this, if I didn't fall, if I didn't do this little mistake, if I did do a single jump instead of double, I could have gotten the points. And a lot of thoughts are going through your mind whenever it gets this close.
もっと上手くなりたい。そうだね。何しけた話してんだよ。負け惜しむな。ダセえぞ。
You have characters like this who are like, let's go. And you see the difference from place 6 to her, only like 1.5 points.
じゃあゆうなちゃん、また強化練習でね。メダルつけたまま帰るの？だってやっぱ嬉しいんだもん。バイバイ。
Plus, they do get medals. I especially like now, we got introduced to a bunch of new characters. Somewhat, these are all very unique. They all have their own personality. And it feels like we are going to get some new rivals because the genius is still very much out of reach. But we can use these quote-unquote fights to see Inori grow and then at some point fight against the genius herself. I believe Hikari was her name. Not sure though.
そうだよね。嬉しいよね。 メダリストになったんだもん。何よ、さ、なんでこんなことになってんの？本当はずっと前に嫌になってたの。周りのみんながスケートやめた時。
Right. Ooh. Yeah. They all quit because of the genius, right? They did talk about that. Whenever she appeared, everyone saw how inferior they were, and they started quitting. Which comparison is a thief of joy kind of thing, where sometimes you just have to look at yourself in a bubble and see how well you do, and every little progress that you do, you need to celebrate. You need someone, especially maybe the coach, who is supporting you and telling you you are doing better, look at this. Sometimes you don't really acknowledge what you did better until someone from the outside is telling you, look, you did the triple cycle without any problems, you had a good stance at the end, you're getting better and better. To see that you are improving, there are always going to be people that are better than you. But sometimes it's not healthy to compare to the top of the sport, which that genius is definitely in.
私もやめようと思ってた。でもユナが諦めなかったから、どんどん3回転できるようになるのが素敵だったから、私頑張れて。だからユナに金メダル取ってほしかったよ。四つ葉。大丈夫。これからも絶対にくじけたりしないから。私ね、追いかけるの得意なんだよ。
あなたは一人じゃない。
先生。
トリプルルッツ、トリプルループは暴れん坊のジャンプです。あなたがこの武器を思い切り使えるように最高の構成を必ず導き出します。そして優勝を目指して全日本に胸を張って挑みます。胸を張って挑みましょう。
はい。
I needed to go back. That was the jump, the Lutz. That one, I believe, was the top one, followed by Salco and Loop, and then I believe Axel and something else. Maybe the Loop was down there as well. I don't really remember. But yeah, in this case, it seems like the point system is always the same. Because if I think about it a little bit more, it's quadruple Lutz or quadruple Psycho is probably the most you can go to. And I feel like the system that we got presented to in last episode is always the same. The adults are going to be measured by that, the children. So it's not really getting close to 100 points. It's more or less seeing how everyone else is doing. And I mean, the average in this competition was like 58 or so points, maybe. I mean, we got a couple that pulled it up, a couple that pulled it down. So in comparison, getting 80 is a lot. And it's probably, we saw, I believe it was Hikaru or one of the other skaters, the older ones, get like 92, 93 points. And that is nearly perfect in the point system, at least. So if you see it in that context, 82 is really impressive for someone this young. Doesn't really have the strength build up. This comes a little bit with age. Whenever she grows up to like teenager, young adult, where the strength is really coming in and she can do the quadruple ones. But yeah, because this system is always the same, you can measure yourself. She made 80.81, 80? No, 80. I believe 80 point something. So next time she can see if she does 81 points, she has improved quite a bit. So you do have an objective way to measure your progress, which is very useful and makes the system a lot more lenient. Nah, not really. But it's just a better system this way. So you can track your progress.
金メダル。
あ
夢じゃないですよね。
あ、と思う。実は俺も今思ってた。夢じゃないよなって。つねってみる？
はい。
There's a snake.
喜んでいいんですよね。
ああ、今度こそ2人で GOE プラス5ぐらいの喜びを。また？お
母さん。お姉だ、来てくれたの？うん、よかった。ギリギリ間に合ってのんちゃんの演技見れたよ。
I mean, let them celebrate. So it seems like it was not even planned that they would be here. Which, quite honestly, as a parent, you should. I know it's hard, especially nowadays, but especially for some bigger events, you should just be there for your children. If something good happens, you can celebrate it with them. If something bad happens, you can be there for them. If they need maybe some retreat.
最後トリプルサルコー飛んだんだね。すごかった。スケート始めてよかったね。お姉ちゃん。
Why no hugs?
本当にありがとうございます。先生のおかげです。いえ。
祈りも本当に満足していると思います。まさか1位なんて。
いえ、俺はただ。
まだ終わりじゃないの。1位だけど終わりじゃない。次は全日本、そしてシニアになったらオリンピックだよ。
I do wonder how this really works. I mean, they want to send the best. So whenever she gets older and wins like the All Japan, then she's going to be Olympian, right?
本当に？
I'm assuming they're not going to send a child. However, because the point system seems to be the same, let's say there is a child who can do quadruples for some reason, and they get like 100 points. Wouldn't you send them to the Olympics? Would that be allowed? I feel like it would be allowed. But it would just make sense, essentially, to send the best athlete despite age, or disregarding age.
のんちゃんならできると思ってるよ。だってずっとスケートやりたいって思い続けてきたんだから。
じゃあゆっくり休んでね。
はい、ありがとうございました。
We are not celebrating, not going out to eat, Nothing. At least let's go karaoke. I don't know. A little bit. I go with them to their home, order pizza. I guess some way to celebrate. I feel like there's a big day, big achievement. No, okay. See?
なんかほっとしたら急にお腹が。
司先生ですよね。え？この後コーチ同士で祝勝会行かないかって話になってる。
The coaches have the celebration party. Why doesn't she have? She could have just stayed. Maybe she could not have stayed here. I'm assuming the parents have to go to work in the next day. But even they have a celebration.
だけど、よかったら司先生も。
I mean, you should. Just to know the other coaches, maybe talk about the competition, especially try to, I wouldn't steal, but get some tips and tricks from other coaches. You never know, maybe some of these are very not old, but they are in the business for a long time, longer than you. Maybe you can learn a little bit.
俺？
Yeah, you're a
謙
coach.
遜しすぎは敵増やしちゃうよ。1位の選手のコーチでしょ。
I don't know why you are wondering. You are the coach. I don't really remember what the deal was, because he didn't really want to be a coach, and the woman coach more or less convinced him to give it a chance because it's skating adjacent and he loves skating. But I don't really know. Does he count as your coach? Is it that counts as a coach, but he's helping out? I don't remember. But I'm disregarding all the official parts, he is at least an official coach of Inori.
そうか。俺、1位の選手のコーチなんだ。
Yeah, you know, celebrating with Inori.
俺。
Okay, I am assuming there are 2 additional people coming, or they are out for a second.
なんでここにいるんだろう。
ああ、お金はいいからね。今日はあっくんのおごりだから。
あっくん。ああ、でも俺財布落とした。
Classic. Yeah, I dropped my wallet somewhere. Don't you pay with your phone every time? I dropped my wallet. You know.
またかよ。カード会社に電話しろよ。
いや、携帯もなくしたから。
Holy fuck. He's very chill.
なんもできないわ。
戻れよ会場に。
肉食べたら行くわ。
いいから早く行けよ。
すげえ世界。
もういいわ。自己紹介。僕は名城クラブ。
Oh, this is only the coaches that won? Like the top 5 coaches? I mean, I would also bring the top 6 coach. Someone is paying. So we can't really do that. However, there could be merit in doing like an after competition little meet and greet where we have like a code buffet, couple drinks, and people can just talk to each other. Get like connections, maybe train with one another. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can do. But okay, the top 5, I assume. Which I believe is then we would need the old guy as well.
の血は凛太郎で、こっちが愛生ライトのアシスタントコーチのワニ。
Okay. Assistant coach. What is the difference between coach and assistant coach?
こっちが愛生ライトのアシスタントコーチの。
Is it like because these are bigger, I assume these are the bigger clubs or groups. So I'm assuming the coach is more or less doing standardized stuff, and the assistant coach is then taking the standardized training regimens and forming them to whoever he's responsible to, which is her. I'm assuming that is the idea.
ワニアツシで、
一度会ったっすよね。
あ、猿川選手の
メイコーウィンドの記事。
Oh, you are here instead of the old guy? Man, having 2 top 5 is pretty impressive. Which also, I never really thought about it. Is there not only top 5 going to All Japan? But Hikari, the genius girl, she got more or less pushed to the All Japan thing. She doesn't need to take part. So we got 6 people going to All Japan, I guess. Was it always 6? I feel like it was only 5. It would make sense only 5, but I don't know.
メイコーウィンドの記事た翔やっす。
This is because we know the coach, the old guy, but he seems more like the assistant coach. So maybe that is how it is split up, that he, because he doesn't really feel like he's the main person that these two went to. It felt like these two were more concerned about the head coach and what he thought than what this young man thought. He was the one was always giving the flowers. So I'm not really sure. Again, this feels very different to the other assistant coach and their relationship.
みんな全日本進出を果たした選手のコーチ。
だから祝勝会って言ったよ。ま、どう
I wanted the cover. Who's paying? I'm assuming it's the old guy that is not here yet. Who's paying?
そうか。みんな全日本進出を果たした選手のコーチ。
だから祝勝会って言ったよ。ま、同時に作戦会議でもあるけど。
作戦会議？
また始まった。
話したって無駄だと思うぞ。
うるさい。それでもお前らコーチかよ。
I assume he just wants to know what our boy did to make the skater do that well. Delicious.
独占？
そう。ここ4年、全日本はヒカルちゃん以外は1位から10
Top 10 positions have been
1位から
dominated.
10位まで。
Oh,
東京と近畿で独占。
wow. And she's the only one. So, skaters from Tokyo and Kinky. Never heard of Kinky. I mean, I can understand Tokyo. Tokyo, big city, a lot of people. So it makes more sense to have like an ice ring. So you have more opportunities for people to train. Understandable. Never heard of Kinky at all. Now, also, this does not help me too much to understand. So these are the different areas. I don't really know. I assume every little, like Kinky is a prefecture, I assume. So every little bit of single land regardless of color, is like a prefecture, and the colored areas are the area, I assume. Like Tokyo is part of the, I don't know, area. It is interesting that pink and purple are very big areas in comparison, but I know pink has a lot of water between them. I'm not. The only geographical things I know about Japan are from Europa Universalis 4. So I know that purple between the top and the bottom part, there's some water. Purple is connected to blue, blue is connected to green, green is connected to orange, orange is connected to the top of the pink, but I believe the bottom one, there is a water crossing. What is with the extra island? Is it Okinawa? There's this extra island on the left bottom.
している。みんな高難度ジャンプ飛んでくるからな。
Interesting.
って食ってないでとっとと行けよ。
Hurry up and go already. Oh. Go get your freaking phone. Right. Wait. Did I maybe miss? No. I already checked beforehand. He was not the one that was paying. So again, interesting that she's the only one not from Tokyo or Kinki. Again, Kinki. Kinki is interesting. We seemingly also go to the jumps again. Kinki, Japan. What do we get? Kansai. It's the Kansai region. So that is okay. It's a region in south of Honshu, Japan's main island, center of the city of Kyoto. Oh. Kinki region includes 7 prefecture. Oh, wait. According, I did not want to read. The Kinki region of Japan includes 7 prefectures. They are Kyoto, Nara, Shiga, Wakayama, Mie, Osaka, and Hyogo. Holy crap. Wait. Oh no. Kansai is the region that they showed. I see Kinki. Kanto is where Tokyo is from. Just so you follow me, I assumed for some reason that the orange part would be Tokyo, but the orange part is Kinki, and the yellow part is Tokyo. Makes more sense. That is why I was very surprised. It makes a lot more sense. Tokyo one, okay. The rest stands, and yeah, it makes a lot more sense that if you go by that. So yeah, Kinki is the orange part. And all of these are prefectures: Kyoto, Shiga, Mie, Nara, Osaka. They seem to mostly show Kyoto, which makes sense. But even with the limited stuff I know, Kyoto and Osaka, pretty big names. I believe Kyoto is also very dense, populated, similar to Tokyo. So it makes a lot more sense that they dominate that much.
最低でもトリプルルッツは絶対条件の戦いの中、どうやって我々中部ブロックが表彰台に上れるか少しでも
Chubu, okay.
少しでも意見交換を
So they have as he said, a strategy meeting where they are like, hey, what can we do to, I mean, podium, questionable, but at least get more places in the top 10. Oh. So the difficulty was from top to bottom, right? So the Axel is the most difficult, question mark? We have the Lutz, we have the F, which is the Falco, the Loop, the Psycho, Skating, Falco. Is the Falco even something? Yeah, Falco is something. And the... I don't know what the F stands for. F? Flip? Flying spin? It may also not be the difficulty, but it does seem like that. We have the S and T for probably turn. I don't know.
したい。なるほど。そこで司先生。はい。
唯一会のりちゃんを1年でここまで強くした秘訣をここで洗いざらい話してもらおうかと。まさかのこのこついてきてお肉をお召し上がりになるだけでお帰りになるつもりじゃありませんよね。誘ったのは千葉先生じゃん。
You're not even paying. So shut up. But yeah. I can see where he's coming from. He's looking more objectively. He's like, hey, we have this all Japan thing going, and Hikari, she is going to be in the top 10, but we want more people in there. We want to make our region a household name in the skating scene, and we want to remove a little bit of Kinti and the Tokyo regions or Tokyo City. We want to push some of them out. So do you have any tips and tricks for the better of our region? Naturally, also he can use that for his student, so it makes sense.
マジ。なぜこの配置に。
Interesting. Does he have a salad and ice cream or pudding? It's a pudding. Does he have those too? Pudding? Pudding with strawberries? Really?
明浦先生。
はい。
お気にされているようなので説明しますが、私が先にサラダを食べているのは急に血糖値を。
He is eating a salad and pudding. I mean, he didn't ask. First off, I did. So you're more or less talking to me.
あげないためです。
健康に気をつけていらっしゃってさすがです。
それよりずるいぞ新一郎。ゆうなちゃんがなんで急にトリプルルッツ止めたんだ。
本人の努力ですね。
ほら、どうせそういう当たり障りのない答えすると思ったよ。
ひどいですね。後輩のコーチから。
Are you kidding me? Really?
秘訣を探るなんてプライドないんですか。
千葉先生も同じことしてたじゃん。
本人の努力だけじゃなく先生の努力もですよ。新一郎先生はヤバいです。最新の指導法に敏感だし、生徒たちのサポート体制強化の努力にはマジビビります。自分も選手だったらこんな風に指導されたいって思いますもん。
あの暴れんボーイの翔ちゃんが。
だからユウナとヒカルが強いってのは当然ってわけか。
That is a pretty big endorsement. And as I was saying beforehand, it makes sense to try and get like tips and tricks from other trainers. And that is seemingly what the old man is doing. He's always looking at what are other people doing, maybe even in, or most likely even in other countries. What is the newest way to train people, especially body training? Because you need some strength for legs, for the upper body, and then you need also endurance. So having like a good training regimen there, probably very helpful. I don't know, I feel like swimming would maybe be good. It would be a lot more a lot less stress on the body, but still very good training. Especially for people who are in a growing period. We had that last season with the one girl that has had growing pains. Maybe swimming is a good alternative for people like that. However, I don't really know how big swimming is in Japan, because it's a culture thing. However, we did a swimming pool for a school is somehow a very common trope. So I don't really know. I feel like depending on where in Japan you are, swimming is more relevant than not. I feel like the north has less swimming, the south more because of the temperature. I'm not sure. I still feel like it's a good training.
ヒカルちゃんはあれどうなってんの？
Is the right side, is that not also something you need to grill? Or can you eat that like it is?
先天的なセンスとしか言えないものなのか。
I mean, you could see it that way, but she is also training nonstop. So it's not that she's never training or doing nothing. She is putting a lot of work in.
手強いですね。
手強い。自分とこの生徒だぞ。
上崎選手を与高潤が指導していることは他のコーチも知らないのか。
Oh. I mean, they should know. Just because he's here, Hikaru is off somewhere training. I believe they know she is. Last time we heard in Russia or something. Was it her? Or was it another show? I'm pretty sure it was her. So you probably know that there is at least an assistant coach kind of deal.
ごちそうさまでした。
タクシーは自分で捕まえますから、ここで大丈夫です。
そうですか。わかりました。ではここで失礼します。
Very nice of him to pay for the meal.
明浦路先生。
はい。
2ヶ月前はリオ
さんのお礼でしたら十分いただきましたよ。
そうですか。では歩きながら一つ伺ってもいいですか。
He seems to be very oppressive in his approach, but seems like a nice guy.
俺にですか。
はい。今日の唯一か選手の演技についてです。素晴らしい演技でした。が、1年前に初級だった選手に対して高すぎるゴールを設定したと感じたのは事実です。なぜそんな選択をしたの？
Interesting. So a little bit of critique, a little bit of inquisitiveness. I mean, even if it works out, pushing someone too hard can have negative consequences. So it makes sense that he's putting a little bit of critique here, but he's still open for something he may not have considered, which is presumably that she herself wanted to push this far. But this is where theoretically the coach has to push back sometimes. We will see.
いろんな人から期待される選手になってもらうためです。
だから賞賛もなく高いハードルを設定したというのでしたら、先生への評価を改めなければなりません。
いえ、賞賛はありました。賭けではありましたが。
なるほど。
いのりさんの練習記録を見ていて気づいたんです。習得後のトリプルサルコーの着氷率 100%、 前後のジャンプ、体調、構成の何番目かに関わらず、全て成功していると。
Interesting. We do see triple loop, sometimes fails, sometimes has a problem. Interesting data. Meaning that this triple cycle is the one she more or less has mastered somehow. Which is interesting. That this is the only one she has no problems with. You see all the other ones. I'm assuming these are different types of data sets. The columns are the different jumps. But the question is, some of them fail even without anything going beforehand. It seems like the double axle, as an example, seems very prone to failure. And this is the one she also succeeded in. Interesting.
間違いない。これが祈りさんの武器。この成功率なら演技後半でもコンビネーションを組み込むこともできる。
Now this is, I don't know. I'm assuming they tested this. They had a couple of test runs at least, and they were like, "Yup, seems good."
そしてその全てが成功すれば。
ではやはり最初から1位を狙っていたのですね。
はい。高すぎる壁の先に進むためのパスポートとして今金色のメダルが絶対に必要だったんです。あの上崎光選手に挑むために。そしていえ与高潤に挑むために。
I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't like that your fight with the other coach is being brought into this. It may lead to you losing sight of the goal, which is Inori. But I can see the importance of the gold medal as a big confidence boost, as more or less telling Inori you are able to succeed even without all the experience that the other skaters have, which was always one of the big negative things for her. You are still more than capable of beating people with more experience because you are working hard, you are doing well, you have what you need to be able to potentially be on the same level as Hikaru. Genius girl.
明浦路先生は純君のことを知っているのですね。先ほどは黙ってていただきありがとうございました。
I don't really remember why they are not open about him being her trainer or coach. Did he have a scandal, or they just don't want to tell people for some reason? I don't really remember why they keep it quiet, if there even is a big reason. It may be so people see the genius for herself and not for her now coach, because that is always a problem if you have a very famous person as your coach. They see you as that coach's student instead of the student itself. So that could be the case. Otherwise, I don't really know or remember why.
俺は上崎選手のコーチであるソニドリ先生を知っています。他の生徒の練習も見ながら上崎選手の試合には全て同行してケアをしている先生を知っています。だから先生に誰かに誤解されるようなことがあってほしくない。
明浦路先生、この後時間はありますか？
Are we going drinking? ending. Lots of characters. Which is interesting because essentially we are 4 episodes in and most of these are probably going to disappear. Very nice picture. So I'm guessing they go to maybe a ring, maybe they see Hikari Genius Girl training, maybe he is trying to give he's going to help him in some way. Maybe he's giving him tips, maybe he's showing him some video of something. It's going to be interesting. He's going to get some info now. I don't really know what we do next in the show. I feel like we are going to do some training because the All Japan probably is a couple months away. It would be too much to have them go to another competition after finishing this one. So I can definitely see maybe we get some training with the other skaters. Maybe we find or see some of the old ones, like Catgirl. I like her, or Tiger. But yeah, we won gold. We got some interesting info about the All Japan.